You see this T app thing? I love the Panopticon. T, an app that allows women to post pictures of men they're dating for feedback, is going viral. It's so over. It's so over, dude. Dating culture is so f***ed. Yeah, classic example of women and men's spaces, right? Men are the ones who are supposed to be creepily taking photos of their dating partners and showing them to men online for validation. Come on. Marketed as an online dating safety app, T allows its users to post photos of men and ask others for tea, in other words, dirt or gossip on them. It's gaining popularity on TikTok, particularly among Gen Z users. Is this a straight dating app? I assume so, because it's women only and you post men, right? Can you imagine how f***ed up it would be if there was a woman who was, God forbid, like hypothetically, a bitch, and she went dating around, I don't know, Midtown, and she racked up profiles on guys, and later, a year later, you find out that there's a profile of you on T being shown to you by your current girlfriend, and it's like, yeah, like when I first met you, I saw your photo here, and I was like, oh my God, you're like a rapist or something, and then you're like, what the f***? That's crazy. You can avoid this by simply being gay. Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you're a good guy, the girls will be sharing you around to the other girls. No, because the problem is this kind of app is self-selecting. It's like Neighborhood, right? The only kinds of people who would use an app like this are drama-hungry pieces of shit, right? Like, people are not using apps like this for altruism. They're doing it because they're paranoid, antisocial, vindictive, looking to get back at people who they feel have wronged them, whether or not it's justified. Like, that's... It's literally called tea. Like it's marketed off this like dismissive slang term for gossip. It's not really about safety. How many downloads does it have? I'll leave you to figure it out with the clues available to you. I don't know, y'all. This already exists in group chats. Yeah, but this isn't a group chat. This is an app designed specifically for that purpose. Like, it's probably locationally based, right? Like, if you live in a city, it's like, here's your area, here's the guys. People could be posting addresses there, man. Phone numbers? That shit is crazy. It encourages really bad behavior. Powered by AI-driven safety tech. Yeah, of course, everything is. That's everything now, of course. Reverse image search, catch catfishers. Phone number lookup helps verify if someone has a hidden marriage or concerning history with their phone number. What does that mean? Background checks include the ability to access public records, sex offender maps, or criminal history to assess if your date is safe to meet up with in real life. Listen. Unironic. Listen, I'm putting my foot down here for the future of the Western birth rate, okay? I think it's normal to go on dates with people without running an extensive professional level background check on them first. In my opinion, I think that's crazy surveillance state shit, no matter how well-intentioned it might seem from the outside. And I know there are some instances where women would have benefited from this information. I'm not denying that at all. But as a rule, that's crazy. The hell are you? You're an ad. F you. You're turning the dating market into LinkedIn. I mean, do you want the dating market to be LinkedIn? I've never seen a LinkedIn post that's made me feel loved. I don't know, man. Like, listen, I understand there are safety issues if you're a woman dating men, disproportionate. I get it. I've always been sympathetic to this. I guess to me, it's more like crime rates are down. Interpersonal and random crime, they're both down. Like, they're better now than they have been in the past. I don't think now is the right time to be introducing Palantir into the bedroom, Like, this kind of social distrust increases the problems we're talking about. This is the problem with high trust societies. Everyone wants to be trusted. Nobody wants to trust. It works both ways. You want to be able to walk around, to explore abandoned construction sites, to walk through neighborhoods freely. You want to be able to jump fences that lead to nowhere. You want to be able to walk into cafes 2 minutes before they close and order a quick drink. You want to be able to use the restrooms in a public space without having to buy something first. You want a society where you feel like you're a welcome member. But if you're on the other side, if you're the homeowner, if you're the cafe shop owner, people don't want that. You don't want to trust in the other direction. This is the problem. Everyone wants to be trusted. Nobody wants to trust. I actually do like the trust. I think that for the most part, like, again, I'm not telling you to avoid obvious red flags. I'm just saying, like, as a general rule, if you're getting into a relationship, if you're interested in dating somebody, shouldn't trust kind of be like a little bit expected? I would feel like personally very slighted if I was dating someone and they were like, yeah, just running a background check. Like, just talk to me. And I would feel disgusting doing that to somebody else. I don't know. It's just people, people are terrified of other people, man. It's all Evangelion shit out there. It's all Hedgehog's dilemma, you know? Everyone's consumed too much true crime. Everyone's got their own little bubble, their own little niche, their cozy little nesting spot in life. And letting other people breach that, it terrifies them. So you get this Palantir shit, and that's great, am I cognizant? Somebody linked this, and this is basically like, this is the woman-coded version of this problem, and this is the man-coded version of this problem. Everything becoming Palantir. Introducing waves, camera glasses for creators. It's, I mean, they say it right here. Record in stealth, live stream all day. Pre-order now. That's great, dude. That's awesome.
This is a spot.
That's great. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. It takes 10 seconds of thinking about this to reflect on the ramifications, you know? This should be illegal. Hidden cameras should be illegal when brought into a public space. This is absolutely terrible. Didn't Google try the same thing? Yeah, it's just an improvement on the same technology, I assume. Remember when Google Glasses had this and someone got the shit beaten out of them because they thought they were recording them? No, but deserved. It's terrifying, man. You know, I saw a post on social media some time ago. It might have been years ago. I don't remember when, but it was somebody, there was a video which must have been recorded on an actual film camera of people dancing at a party in like the 90s, right? And people were popping the fuck off. People were really going to it. Now, I'm not as much of a party goer today, but I've been to a few house parties. I've been to a few, you know, I've been to the dance clubs. I've been to the Das Bunker, you know, I've been to the hip and happening places. And in my experience, people nowadays, for the most part, don't pop off the way they used to. And the argument posited by that post, essentially, was people are, yeah, scared of being filmed being cringe. Everyone is a camera all the time now. And over the course of your entire life, the fact that all around you, all the time, people have cameras that at any moment can capture you, it sandblasts away your desire or your ability to act in like, you know, very authentic ways you think might compromise you.
That's how you do it out here.
Yeah. Get it? You can record everything all the time. But why though? Well, why the f not? It's the way society's trending right now anyway. Demon tech. You'd be able to clock people wearing these by the odd way they move their head. Maybe. I don't think. Is that what you want to do? Every time you go to a party and you want to take your shirt off, you want to look at every single person in the room, all 40 of them, and see which of them is moving their head like too smoothly? Evil, evil, evil stuff. I would never trust a person with glasses. Whoa, hey, friendly fire, buddy.
Factors. Your
What the
rules
hell?
lighting, time of day.
I open up YouTube to look for a video on the T app, and what do I get? I get the continuation of what I was watching before stream started, a video by the lovely Renard Lowell, talking about home design. Like this guy. Feels like he repeats a lot of stuff in the videos, but I think he's got a good handle on the topic. This is not, however, relevant to the segment.
Tonight on The Edge, we are spilling the tea on a new app aptly called Tea. It's where women only can post photos of men they're dating to summon input from other women.
All right, you guessed it. It's stirring up some major controversy. Fox News' Jessica Dupnack joins us live with the details. A piece, I should say, very appropriate for The Edge. What's going on here?
Well, we all might learn something tonight, Roop and Amy. So if you have TikTok in the last couple of days, you might have been scrolling through and seen something about this Tea app.
Can I
if
find
you're like
that?
me, you're not really on TikTok. You know, it's taking 20-year-old women and it's creating kind of a frenzy. You're able to post men that you're dating to, you know, elicit input from other women. It's got a lot of guys scared. Take a look.
Oh, you
How
gotta...
would you characterize dating as a 22-year-old?
Honestly, it kind of sucks.
Out of that, an app was born. It's called Tea, as in spill the tea or gossip. It's got Gen Z in a chokehold, spreading as it does on TikTok.
Mama, we made it. Look at that.
Whoever keeps posting my husband on the Tea app needs to stop.
Guys, I'm trending on the Tea app. I'm trending on the Tea app.
There's actually a waiting list to get
From
on.
YouTube chat. Oh God, we're still bashing women for trying to be safe. Birth rate's bad. Women stop protecting themselves. Disgusting. He's disgusting. Wow. Come on. I'm gonna assume you're not a bot, but like you can't engage with reality in that superficial of a. Would you have like protested against black women being allowed into women's gymnasiums after Jim Crow ended? You gotta not. You can't let your fear of the world like drag all of society into the lowest possible denominator. You know, that's not good.
This thing.
You pass the waiting list.
you have to submit a picture of your face with an ID to prove that you are a girl, because no guys are allowed in the apps.
Emily, anonymous here and on the app, admittedly embarrassed, saying she's a frequent user. You can post photos of who you're dating to gauge other women's experiences with these men, so-called red and green flags. The reviews are rarely positive.
So it's kind of crazy. Like, both sides of the spectrum is really dictating my dating life now.
Emily says the T app seems to be particularly popular in Middle Eastern communities, especially Dearborn.
Oh, Dearborn men, how the T app has gotten under your skin.
That's interesting. I wonder why that is.
All these guys are talking to, they're all like getting nervous, they're all freaking out, making TikToks about it.
It offers other services like background checks and catfish verification.
They're trying to find some type of way to up your reputation so bad.
I can see some areas where this could cause people some big problems.
Attorney William Barnwell says it's possible men getting posted have civil legal recourse. If the posts are affecting their work, family life, or reputation, defamation might apply.
Truth is an absolute defense to a defamation claim. So you can't just sue somebody because your feelings got hurt.
On the criminal side, there could be cause for electronic harassment or even stalking.
You can be saying something that is true, but it's being used in a way to constantly harass somebody, cyber harassment. There are laws that cover that.
He suggests to the ladies proceed with caution.
In people's outrage to want to out these...
But realistically, how many people are actually going to pursue civil lawsuits over anything that happens here? You know, like you feel like somebody's being defamatory, you got to take them to court and argue the merits of your character. Very scary. Very, very, very scary. Scary, scary stuff, man. I'm so glad that I at least finished high school without modern tech culture getting in the way. By the time I graduated college, it was pretty well in order. But when I entered high school, I had a clamshell phone. I mean, it wasn't as integrated back then, you know? A video about men's reaction to the T app by the creator I referenced. 20 minutes. Well, we'll see a second.
Well, basically,
What's
my
up?
friend downloads the T app, and I have no idea how he got accepted. But anyways, he faked it somehow. And then we just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I see my face on there. And me and him are like...
That's why I said that T app is going to unlock something so treacherous that these women is not going to be able to bear.
What is that? We are the victims of blatant disrespect.
I don't know if I can learn anything from this video. The way the video is structured makes me feel like I'm not going to learn anything from it.
And people, it might be better sometimes just to walk away.
So we wanted to talk to the people that run this app. I reached out a couple of times in the last few days and no one has responded. Now, we did ask the attorney William there if maybe the app could be liable if these men try to take some sort of legal recourse. And the short answer is he didn't know. This is really uncharted territories. How
It's a TikTok. I'm on TikTok.
Oh shit, man, they got me on the T app. Dean went in back and forth since March. Things have been going well, blah blah blah. He just pretty secretive with his phone, but I f with him. I just want to know the T. Bitch, you should have asked me. I would have just told you my.
I don't think I'm going to learn anything from this one either. This isn't a very informationally dense video. I don't think. I don't know how to use TikTok. I think women are just better off without men. No, I don't buy that fake political lesbianism bullshit, okay? For one, the idea that men and women on average can live apart is ludicrous. The idea that, like, men crave women, but women can live without men is and always has been a delusional fantasy by second-wave feminists, okay? There are tons of women, literally billions of them on Earth, who are jonesing for a fella, okay? That's how I apologize for deferring to this, but it is a biological reality. Really? Come on. No, I'm being serious. I think that's a crazy thing to say. And I also think it's sexist because it appeals to the antiquated notion of female purity. The idea that men are the disgusting animalistic sex driven ones and women are these like chaste virginal, well, they'll have sex if the man wants to, but otherwise they're, you know, it's antisocial. It's anti-feminist, in my opinion. I don't think it's very good. Wouldn't it be better to just, like, address gender relation issues as they are now, rather than, you know, pretending to do this, like, MGTOW, WGTOW thing, you know? Men going their own way, women going their own way. It does poison the discourse quite a bit.
Reliable these social media companies and these apps are. He did say, you know, as this app gains popularity, he's probably going to be getting some phone calls. Reporting live, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
So either Vosh doesn't want to criticize a black heavy video, or Vosh feels like he can't learn anything from black people. Don't race bait. Jesus Christ.
And as is the case with many stories you do, as it goes viral, I'm sure the folks with T would want to spill the tea on the questions that you have, because the question I have is, what happens if someone posts a really scandalous picture on there? I would imagine this opens it up to all kinds of trouble. What could happen next?
Yeah, Rube, that falls into sort of the criminal territory. That attorney we spoke to, he said that absolutely would be a so-called red flag for criminal activity, and that's something you wouldn't seek an attorney for necessarily. You'd go right to the police for something like that.
Yeah, that would be revenge porn. But my issue isn't necessarily with that, because the law already covers that, right? That's already something that's accounted for in like in a criminal sense, you know? It's just, God, I don't know. Community run surveillance state. We already have versions of this in like the next door and neighbor apps and stuff, and it makes everyone paranoid freaks. What's the name of that one app that tells you every single time any crime is reported anywhere in the city that you live in? Citizen? That shit turns people into monsters, dude. Every 8 seconds, their phone blows up with a notification that somebody has engaged in petty larceny 28 miles away or something. It turns them into freaks. Yeah, that one's pretty bad. There was a Citizen notification that went locally viral about a piano falling on someone in Chicago. Well, that's cool though. I think that's good. I would want to know that. I'm fine with that. Okay, hold on. Is the T app more of a POC thing? We jump so easily into blaming white women for everything, but all of the videos that I'm seeing both on TikTok and on YouTube talking about it, it's black content creators, you know? Like very disproportionately so. That's got to mean something, right? Now is race baiting? Dog, I'm just noticing. Haven't seen this one in a while. Is this an AI rendition of Big Red?
You know, this new T app where women have been super excited about all this information that they're now able to get from other women on men in their local area.
Okay, can I be honest with you guys? There's one thing that I dislike more than the idea of a woman using the T app, and it's a guy getting really performatively angry at women for using the T app. Some of you might say that implicates me, but I more mourn the ramifications on the broader like dating market and people's social trust. I'm not like angry at women, I guess. It's more like, you know, everything is Palantir now. Everything is Palantir now.
That they may be dating, in a relationship with, or married to. I think it might be starting to backfire. You have got to listen to what this woman has to say about the T app.
It's this app called the T app. So the app is supposed to be, will help women with safe dating. You post a guy you're talking to or interested in, and the girl's supposed to give like red flag, green flag, and kind of like talk about their experience.
For all the men that are so butthurt in my comments about the T app, just say you're not a great person. The men who have red flags and have a lot of negative comments, and you're commenting on my saying, oh, women just be lying. For that girl to even comment something negative about you, you must have done something negative to her. Or she just hates you for no reason. I don't know. I just don't believe that. I feel like there has to be something behind it, unless you rejected her and I don't know.
Oh, look, and this is what the T app actually looks like. This is the one out of New Orleans. Interesting.
Oh, dear burn man, how the T app has gotten under your skin. Now, I'm not on the app, but I've seen enough on TikTok to know what's being said about guys on there. And if it wasn't true, why are you guys so upset? I have seen so many videos of guys subtly threatening to ruin women's reputations just because of what's being said about you on the app. If it wasn't true, you wouldn't be this mad.
When I first got on the T app, I was shocked. And I was like, I gotta tell the girls. I have to tell the girls about this app because this app is going to save somebody. It's going to save somebody from getting their heart broke. And a lot of times you can't always believe what everybody say, but you can get on the app and compare what you know to what they say, and you be the judge.
The T app has taken it to another level. Not only are they paying women to post fake testimonials on TikTok.
Why did T app just expose that my whiskey? What should I see? Y'all.
Baby, the T app is tearing through the male community like crack in the A. And on the T app, there's like a process that you have to go through to get verified so that they know, that you're a girl or whatever. And also on the T app, you can't screenshot people. And it's so funny that the guys think that it's all like us yapping about bad experiences, but sometimes it'd be like, girl, you gotta try that. You need that. You need that.
Y'all are telling other women they need to go try out a man's wangama thing, essentially is what you're saying.
Media and stuff, talking about how they got posted on there. Very telling.
I went on there and I get like 50 to 100 alerts a day about guys in Dearborn. Like, are you guys okay? I have friends that was posted.
Wait, alerts about what? I'm sorry. You guys think I might be like staying on this for too long, but one of the big things that I've noticed, right? It's kind of like the Epstein thing with Trump. It's that the least political thing is politics, and the most political thing is everything that you do, like in between looking at the news, right? This stuff affects people so much. These like demographic interactions, this gender relation bullshit, right? It has way more of an impact on what people's political predilections and biases are than like the arguments and priors you're given, or I guess like the specific positions you have on things like abortion or whatever. Like we tend to demark people's progressivism by issues like, well, do you believe in feminism? Do you believe in abortion? Do you believe in women's right to vote or whatever? And I think in reality, often stuff like that's guided more by like vibe checks over stuff like this. It's just, it's very odd. But he's not really saying anything.
And the thing about it is like,
you are, they don't like what you did with your friend, with their friend, or whatever. I know, sister. Much of the lies, the BS, what this woman was doing, how she was screwing this guy. She screwed me last night. She was screwing this other guy 2 nights ago. They're going to put that out, and that is going to destroy these women.
Men are a bit more messier because in society it's okay anyway. You know what I'm saying? So correct me if I'm wrong, but also, as I feel like especially in that community, if someone knows that you're known for something, everybody's going to sprinkle on a little bit of a lie to make the rumor a little bit more juicy to the next motherfucker. So it's just like you have to be careful. Anybody who thinks this is a good thing is short-sighted. Like, yeah, it's a good thing for the moment. Yeah, it might feel good to release whatever pent-up stress you have against whoever. But at the end of the day, guys are getting in the app, and I literally seen a post saying, add this Instagram if you want to start exposing women. We're going to start exposing women, so add this Instagram.
Y'all hear that? It's coming. Y'all jokers, see what y'all did? All
right, well, this guy. Yeah, I don't know. It's all gender war shit, man. I can't imagine being happy when you have this attitude, kind of patronizing him. Well, he just wants it as ammunition to use against women, right? It's not like it's not like about improving gender relations. It's just like, well, the women have attacked us by gossiping about us, so now we'll attack them by exposing their lies in the gossip. It's just this it's just a back and forth. It solves nothing. It does nothing. But I might be getting a biased selection because the channel's called Black Guru, so it's possible this is like MGTOW gender relation stuff anyway. Yeah, that seems to be that seems like the theme of the channel, I guess. I don't know. Grim stuff. Do men and women even like each other? I think the internet is making them like each other less, at least in the West. No, it's the same in Eastern Europe. Well, Eastern Europe can be the West, you know, I'm not judging. You can be Eastern in the West. Zizek clip that speaks to this issue. There's always a Zizek clip, isn't there?
Love. Love in the good old-fashioned sense, which is today more and more rare. Love as an encounter. This is why in English and also in some other languages, not all, like French, you use the term fall. We fall in love. This is the eventual dimension. In what sense? Let's say you live a happy life. You are lucky, you have a job, you meet regularly with friends, you are not in love, but you just make one night stand.
Then we should make one that's trans inclusive. The idea isn't bad and could help trans women avoid getting ended early too. Okay, let me be constructive here, okay? Like, leaving aside the criticisms that have issued of the app, the fact that it fosters distrust, which I think makes the problems worse, right? Because like distrust between men and women, the idea that it's not possible to just freely fall in love or interact, everything has to be sheltered and guarded, I think that's very, very dangerous, right? I think if you want to be safe, the best thing you can do is cultivate strong community relationships and follow good safety guidelines when dating people. Have your first dates in a public place, you know? Learn to recognize red flags in people if they come across as overly dependent, or if it looks like they're cloying or insecure in a way that could be like you know, like dangerous or like a real personality flaw. Everyone's a little insecure sometimes. Yeah, let a friend know when you're going on a first date. No, I mean this. I feel like, look, everyone, you people, you watch your goddamn YouTube video essays. You know how a nuclear reactor works. You know how the Concorde flies. You don't know how to have a first date. Tell your friends if you're going on a date. Talk with your friends. Develop relations with people. If you're concerned about STIs, then before you somebody, make sure you get a recently dated STI check from them. If they care enough to date you, they'll care enough to get the damn test done. You know, take the project of dating seriously in the sense that you have to invest a part of yourself into it. And yeah, and a condom, of course, but I mean, like, it's good to be, you know, extra careful, right? But you have to build community, and that is real safety. Much in the same way that you can put as much neighborhood watch signs in the world as you want up, you can have as many cops guarding your neighborhood as you want, right? But at the end of the day, safety, real safety in your neighborhood, like crime-related safety, is about trust. It's about equality, because income and social inequality increases crime, right? It's about mutual environmental investment, right? Everyone feels like they belong to the community. Therefore, everyone cares about its long-term health. You know, yeah, you know your neighbors, you know the store owners and the employees. People know each other. They talk, you know. This is the best way to stay safe. This is the best way to stay safe. I mean it. And I think people should stay safe because dating often can be scary, right? Especially if you're a lady dating guys because of the social difference and the strength difference on average. And then when I say that, you know, some people are like, well, some women are stronger than some men, to which I have to say, live in the real world. Come on, you know perfectly well most aren't. Right? Yeah, exactly. That's a good one, right? Don't outsource regular social behavior to technology. You know, at the end of the day, you have to be able to engage in these practices and talk to your friends about it. You know, and you know what else compromises people's safety? And this is a big risk with people who get like groomed or separated from their friends. People are so lonely and desperate for companionship because the world's getting lonelier than it ever has, basically, that as soon as people fall in love, they drop everything else and they just run off. You know what I mean? They fall in love, they feel some affection, and they're very susceptible to flattery. So as soon as they feel that, they're like, you know what? Yeah, I will cut off my friends. I will run off, you know? And I think that everyone, to some extent, is vulnerable to the stupidity that affection can inflict on you. And I think that's very human, you know. But I also think what's human is, like, you know, as friends, as a community, you have to lock hands or arms, which I can't do quite as easily with the microphone in the way, you know, when you block at the elbows. And you have to try to keep everyone around you safe. And I do not think this Palantir doxing app is going to fix that. I don't think it's going to solve this fundamental problem. Ape together strong. Exactly. Neighborhood barbecue solved a lot of problems. That's true. Because before you go to the barbecue, right? All your neighbors, their homes are just these impermeable, opaque bricks. You don't know who's in them, what's in them. Is it a crazy guy with guns? You have no idea. Everyone goes to the barbecue. Everyone goes to the function. Everyone's human now. Now, if you have a problem, you can run over. You can ask a neighbor for help. I'm just that community trust. It makes a big difference. That's all. I don't know, man. You see countries where things have gone in the opposite direction, Korea being like the prime example right now, and it's like really scary. You read about what gender relations are like in Korea, where like the women defensively are all doing women going their own way shit, and the men are in many cases like openly hateful and antagonistic, you know? And it seems like the distance between both of these groups cements and reaffirms the perceived validity of that dynamic. One in which, by the way, I think that based on the evidence, the men are overwhelmingly the aggressors. But I'm interested not in allocating blame to genders. I'm interested in solving the problem. Not that I can solve it myself, you know, but like talking about how the problem could be solved. Yeah, it's good to know the people you live around. 100%. It's very good. It's pro-social. As someone who was this way till you helped in all this, I fully agree. Being more social in college has helped me feel happier. I even got a partner that I'm going to help become more social too. So thanks so much, King. That's wonderful. I'm really happy to hear that. The more, I guess, I've gotten older and happier, more socially competent, the more I've thought about what I want and what I used to be worse about in terms of interacting with other people, the more I've thought about blaming in the context of a gender relation is meaningless. Because even in situations where the men are the antagonists, the primary aggressors, the primary, you know, perpetrators, I guess, they're suffering too. That's not to exonerate. It's just a factual description of the situation. You know, this modern internet chauvinism, this like hate dynamic that's fostering, this does not make men happy, you know? This is not one in which like the women suffer and the men benefit. It's one in which everyone suffers. So I think you can talk about relative responsibility or what tendencies are more common in which directions, but nobody's winning here, right? Nobody's winning. A desire to love without risk has permeated everything. I agree, funny rhetorician. Yeah, 100%. No one wants to take risks. No one wants to like front their emotions. People are very cowardly in that respect. Everyone, not just other people. I think that to an extent, maybe if I had been born 50 years ago and was the same in every other respect, I might be more willing to be straightforward in those ways. I think that the modern society, maybe it's because of shit like the panopticon, right? Those glasses that are recording, you know, stuff like that. Everyone's just worried about being vulnerable, you know? Insane standards of masculinity aren't helping. Yeah, I think I will say, and it's I don't want to sort of belabor the point, but I will say I still have no solution to the short men question. Short men are treated so badly by everyone. And it's like in a way that is so difficult to compensate for. And not by everyone, like literally all people, but by both men and women on average. And I don't really know, because it seems like there's no way out through that, right? I mean, they're not like impossible, but in the immediate moment, it seems like it's very difficult. The way out is to stop trying so hard to be masculine. Yeah, but that doesn't really work in practice, right? Like, keep in mind that the desire for a cisgender person to affect their gendered behavior is not necessarily any weaker than the desire for a trans person to do so. You know, if a trans woman says like, well, I want to look like this, or I want to present this way, it's like, okay. But if there's a short guy and they're like, dude, I am not happy being short, you're dealing fundamentally with the same issue, the incongruity between their presentation and the way they visualize themselves, the way they would like to visualize themselves. It's a difficult issue. I just don't want to talk down to anyone feeling that way. What about the way small dick guys are treated? I think to an extent likewise, yeah. I think that we have a very rigid understanding of what it means to like succeed in your presentation as a guy, and I think that there's been a lot more variety with women, right? In some respects, maybe in time, like that'll, you know, spread a little more, because it's just deeply unfair, right?